Hello again. Welcome back. We're going to solve another trig equation. Remember, equations are defined as having the equal sign, and they can have infinite solutions. But in this situation, we're only going to find the solutions from 0 to 2 pi. Now, we have to figure out a way to factor this, manipulate it, sub identities in to reduce it so that we have these linear trig expressions all multiplied and we can set them equal to 0. So as we think about simplifying, hopefully you all are looking at this and recognizing that we have a double angle. And all of my students should be very proficient in their identities at this point. And you guys should all be able to tell me that sine of 2x is equal to 2 sine x cosine x. That's a double angle identity. So I just took this and substituted that identity in. I still have a cosine x here. So I have cosine x minus sine x is equal to 0. So let's think about simplifying this. I can multiply this together. I'm going to have 4 sine x times cosine squared. So I have 4 sine x times cosine squared x minus sine x is equal to 0. So now I can see I've got this to a point where I can factor a GCF. I'm going to factor out a GCF of sine x. So when I factor that out, I have sine x times 4 cosine squared x. And factoring that out over here, that will leave me with a minus 1 is equal to 0. So now that I have two factors equal to 0, I'm going to say sine x equals 0, and then also my other factor, 4 cosine squared x minus 1 equals 0. Solving sine x equal to 0. Where is sine equal to 0? Thinking about our ordered pairs, we have 1 and 0 and negative 1 and 0. Sine is equal to 0 when we are at 0 or pi. So for this first factor, I've got x equals 0 or pi. Now for my other factor, we have a little bit of algebraic manipulation to deal with. So I'm going to say cosine squared x, I'm going to add the 1 and divide by 4. Cosine squared x is positive 1/4. Now I'll take the square root of both sides. Taking the square root of something that is squared, that's going to leave me with just cosine x on the left and plus or minus the square root of 1/4 on the right. The square root of 1/4 is 1/2. Square root of 1 is 1. Square root of 4 is 2. So I have cosine x is plus or minus 1/2. So where do the 1/2s occur for cosine x? Again, we go back and think about our unit circle here. So first thing, we have a positive pi over 3. We have 1/2 root 3 over 2. So cosine is equal to positive 1/2 at pi over 3. We're also going to get a positive 1/2 at 5 pi over 3, coming all the way around to quadrant 4. And then cosine is negative in both quadrants 2 and quadrant 3. So we've got 2 pi over 3, 4 pi over 3. Those both give me those negative 1/2 values. And down here at 5 pi over 3, I'm going to get a positive 1/2 value for cosine. So adding these 4 values to my list, I'm just going to come up here and draw a comma. I've got pi over 3, 2 pi over 3, 4 pi over 3, and 5 pi over 3. We have 6 solutions that will satisfy the original equation between 0 and 2 pi. Always remembering that there are infinite correct solutions, right? Because I can add 2 pi or 360 degrees over and over again to find coterminal angles. We're not doing that in this situation because this says find the solutions in one rotation on the unit circle from 0 to 2 pi. As always, email me if you have any questions.